Welcome to EMTB videos. Here is my first ride review of the new 2020 GT Force GTE. Forgive me if I occasionally refer to it as the E-Force. The Force GTE amp is the top of the line model, but it's spec'd more like an entry-level EMTB. I'm not holding that against it though, as long as it's reflected in the price. In Norway, the amp is very competitively priced, but that may vary between countries. There are cheaper EMTBs to be had, but not with an integrated battery. There are some significant advantages of an external battery design, like cost and weight. I never had a problem with the looks of an external battery bike, but that's starting to change for me now. The integrated battery bikes are more inconspicuous. The new Force GTE is a nice looking and sleek bike. Sure, it adds a bit of cost, but the price is still good. The amp model has got well-functioning and solid components, such as the 12-speed SRAM SX Eagle and the new RockShox 35 RL Gold fork with 150mm of travel. This may not be the plushest fork over smaller bumps, but it's a rugged fork that will handle big impacts. Rear shock is also a RockShox offering 150mm travel. It's the Deluxe Select R. Brakes too are new for 2020. It's the dual caliper Shimano MT420. They're one step down from the Deore level MT520 brakes. The MT420s have got a longer brake lever, but the modulation and lever feel is comparable to the more expensive brake. The tires are very good trail tires. It's the Maxxis Minions 3C with Exo Plus casing, DHF on the front and DHR2 for the back. Tire size is 29 by 2.6 inches. And there is of course a dropper seat post, 120mm for the size medium and 150 for sizes large and extra large. Geometry is looking good, no big surprises. Frame length is decent. 455mm chainstays are pretty much standard for 29ers. 65 degrees head angle is pretty slack. 76 degrees C-tube is a good figure. The bottom bracket drop of 349mm is a few millimeters taller than many competitors. Our group ride started off with a bit of trials riding, at least for some of us. Oh. The trails were dry and dusty, thankfully. If I ever lost the guy riding in front of me, I could just follow his dust trail. Trail surface was hard, with a lot of smaller, loose rocks, so conditions was very loose and slippery. When entering the turns at speed, you had to work the bike to avoid sliding out. It's easy losing the front wheel traction in the turns, but the Force GTE handled it well. I was sliding on both wheels in a few turns, and that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It says something about how the rider weight is balanced between the front and the rear. The 455mm chainstays aren't super short, and they're pushing the rider a bit forward on the bike. The 76 degree C-tube pushes the rider weight even further forward, so the bike geometry helps you weighing down the front wheel in the turns. Some of the turns were quite sharp, so you would think a long-ish rear end would slow the bike down. But no, sliding in the slippery turns helped the bike get through the sharpest turns, and it was a lot of fun powering up to speed again after each turn. Dropping or jumping off smaller ledges was fine, but a shorter rear end would make the bike a tad more lively. This geometry also aids climbing. It's easy keeping the front wheel on the ground, and it's easy sticking to your line. The slack head angle and the generous wheelbase makes the Force GTE a safe and capable descender, but I think a slightly lower bottom bracket would have helped me pushing harder in the turns, I don't mind the 349mm tall bottom bracket height though. It suits the bike well. I didn't have a single pedal strike, and when traversing narrow trails I could keep pedaling without touching the ground on the inside. The geometry makes sense on this bike.
Perfect timing. We're just getting back also.
Nice, we did.
Did you have a good time?
Great. Thank you.
The Force GTE amp is a well-priced bike with sensible components, and I think a lot of first-time buyers will be interested in this bike. What they get is a well-balanced, safe and capable bike. This bike is a safe all-rounder that gets you up the toughest climbs, and it gives you the confidence going down again. Don't get me wrong though, this isn't a beginner's bike. It's a proper trail bike that will take a lot of beating.